Georgia Tech and Clemson play on Saturday at 3:30. An important ACC game. Jackets and Tigers always interesting and sometimes dramatic finishes. Tony Zenon, of course, is a redshirt sophomore from Albany, Georgia, by way of New Orleans. We're going to get to that in a moment. But you celebrated a birthday here and had a surprise party and everything else, huh?
Yeah.
Your girlfriend got you, huh?
Yeah, she got me good.
That's a nice way to start the year, though, right?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's probably – I didn't have too many surprise birthday parties, so I really wasn't expecting it. And, yeah, she invited my parents and some of my friends from back home and Dion and Quayshawn from here. And when I came to her house, it was supposed to be her mom and dad and just me having a little dinner. And I walk in and I see, like, everybody else, and I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. Yeah, but it was cool, though.
You've had some big plays here last couple weeks. First career touchdown run. Yeah. You had your first career touchdown pass a year ago. Right. And Coach Johnson and I were talking, and he's talked about your patience paying off here. A year ago, I remember Roddy Jones telling me, hey, this is a guy that can make plays in space. He's a great fit for the offense, a perfect A-back, has understood blocking and things like that. What have you learned, Tony, the last couple of years?
Well, I mean, this offense, when I first got here, this offense was pretty tough to learn. And, you know, I really didn't have to worry about blocking in high school and, you know, worrying about counting the numbers and all that stuff. So that has come a long way in reading the defenses. And I've learned a lot. And from Roddy Jones and Embry, those guys have their own ability. So I've learned to try to, like, combine those two and, you know, work with those things. But so far, everything's going good, though. I can't really complain.
What is, when you start playing here and then you go through an off season and get ready for your second season of playing in games,
right?
How much does the perspective on it change leading up to a season? Because like a year ago, you were playing for the first time after redshirting.
Yeah. Was
the off season leading up to this season totally different because of having played a full schedule in the offense?
Well, yeah, because I've had most of the plays down, and the main thing is blocking, and it's kind of hard to try to work on blocking in the off season because you just can't. It's different in the game, you know. So, the main thing was just trying to get myself in better shape and working on my hands and just continue learning the offense and different things like that because you always can learn.
Is there a perfect A-back? One guy does this, one guy does that. Robbie Godhigh is this noted blocker. Mm-hmm. Everybody talks about Godhigh just chopping people out.
Right.
You don't seem to be the chop it out kind of guy, although you do block.
Right.
Is there a perfect A-back?
I can't
or is
really.
it a combination like you, Orwin, Robbie, you know?
Yeah, I think everybody have their own abilities, and like Robbie, he's a good player, but he's probably the best blocker on the team when it comes down to cutting, and he's so low to the ground. And I'm not too taller than him either, but I don't know, it's just different. But I really can't say if there's a perfect A-back. Roddy would be the closest to the perfect A-back, you know. But I guess we all got our different sets of abilities, and that's why they use all of us, you know. The
combination of, and Coach Johnson and I were talking about the depth of the position.
Yeah.
When the season started.
Right.
The combination of all you guys. There's you, there's Bostic, there's Orwin, there's Godhigh, there's Deion Hill. It's a pretty wide swath of variance here, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. That makes the competition even better. The more guys, and it's tougher to get in the rotation. And I've learned that, and that's why I come out and try to work as hard as I can. And whenever I get in the game, I'm going to take it like it's my last play. So, and I've been fortunate to make a few plays, and hopefully, that opened up the coach's eyes, and hopefully they give me the ball even more.
Tony, do you have a sense, even before the ball snapped, that a play is going to work?
Well, you can look at the defenses, and you probably can tell that a certain play is going to work. And majority of the times, the play action, you know it's going to work because the teams, we run the ball pretty much 85% of the time, so they expecting to run. But as long as everybody just carry out the assignment well and go 100%, then it's kind of hard to tell what we're going to do.
Games are always interesting because they're not so many that every one of them's got a level of importance, right?
Right.
Win or lose, how do you handle a game? Because I know Coach Johnson talks about review it, error correction on Monday, move on.
Right.
How does a player handle that?
Well, I mean, it's always tough because, you know, everybody want to win. Nobody wants to lose. And me being the competitor that I am, I never want to lose. And I take the games pretty hard because after the games, I'm down. But at the same time, you know, you just got to flush it like Coach Johnson said, and you just got to move it on to the next one. And, you know, anytime you lose, you can learn from it. And, you know, you go back and watch the tape and you look at yourself and see if that's what you want scouts to look at or if you want to be represented as that. And that's how I look at it. And then after Mondays, I just put the game behind us.
Are you surprised that college football today, because I mean, you've been a guy that's been through a lot, are you surprised as a player how big college football has gotten?
Yeah,
I mean, it seems like every game, no matter where you play, there's some degree of importance to it, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, I think every game is important no matter who you're playing. Like last week, I mean, it don't matter who the team is because it can affect you, affect the team, you know. And, you know, if it's a big game, of course, ACC game, of course you want to win any conference. Like a little small, it all matters because you want to play your perfect game. And I think Georgia Tech been looking for that perfect game, you know. I think Virginia, we played pretty decent, but we had a lot of mistakes in that game also. But, you know, it might not look like that, but once you look at the tape, you can tell you had mistakes and different things like that. But yeah, every game have its importance, and it just depends on, you know, how you want to look at it.
Let me ask you, it's been well documented. You were living in New Orleans. Katrina came in 2005, and you and your family relocated to Albany. 7 years later, what does one learn from that experience?
Man, back in New Orleans.
I mean, because I know New Orleans is important to you today.
Yeah, of course.
We kid around about Falcons and Saints, but New Orleans is important to you. It's still part of you.
Yeah,
right?
It's my home. Yeah. It means everything because what I've learned from it, just overcoming adversity. I mean, that was a big tragedy, and I got separated from my family. And being in New Orleans, like all my family was like close by, so it's like I could ride my bike, or I can probably, well, not walk, but I could ride my bike to their houses. And you know, I spent a lot of time with my mom's mom, my dad's mom, you know. But I mean, it was tough. When I first moved to Albany, I wanted to go back because I wanted to be back with my family, but I just had to adjust. And you know, I think moving to Albany probably was the best thing for me though, because I mean, the school system in New Orleans was not the best, and moving to Albany, the school system was much better. And I've learned, and you know, I've grown and became more mature faster than I think I would have become in New Orleans, because I was more of, you know, not really gonna say partying, but I wasn't that serious with the school, you know, with the school, whole school thing. But you know, I've learned from it, and I think that was the best thing for me. And I probably wouldn't be at Georgia Tech if it wasn't for the hurricane.
Good to visit with you. Thanks for the time.
Appreciate it.
Tony Zenon. This is RamblingWreck.com.